Few athletes can claim to have redefined their sport in the way Jimmie Johnson did during his time in NASCAR. The seven-time Cup Series champion didn't just win races, he dominated an entire era, leaving a legacy that still resonates with fans today. But how did this historic run of excellence begin? And what role did teamwork, pressure, and even fear play in shaping his career? Let's dive into the untold story behind one of racing's most iconic journeys. Jimmie Johnson's grip on NASCAR in the late 2000s is nothing short of legendary. From 2006 to 2010, he clinched 5 consecutive championships, an achievement unmatched in modern stock car racing history. Add another title in 2016, and you're looking at a driver whose name sits alongside legends like Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt, all tied for the most Cup Series titles, 7. Yet, behind this extraordinary success lies a tale of hard work, adaptation, and moments of self-doubt. In a recent conversation with Kevin Harvick on Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour, Johnson opened up about the early days of his career and the turning point that set the stage for his dominance. Joining Hendrick Motorsports was a pivotal moment for Johnson, but it wasn't without its challenges. It was a big shock, to say the least, Johnson recalled. Transitioning from lower racing circuits to the elite Cup Series meant stepping into uncharted territory. In 2001, while running 3 races as a rookie, Johnson quickly realized that this new level of competition was far beyond anything he had experienced before. Finishing 2 laps down in 26th place during one of those outings drove home the reality. This wasn't just a small step up, it was a monumental leap. But here's where things get interesting. That initial struggle turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Over the off-season, Chad Knaus, who would become Johnson's longtime crew chief, joined the team. Together they began building the foundation of what would become one of the greatest partnerships in motorsports history. Johnson leaned heavily on the resources available within Hendrick Motorsports, particularly learning from veteran teammate Jeff Gordon. At the time, Gordon didn't rely much on detailed notes, but Johnson took it upon himself to extract every bit of knowledge he could. He meticulously analyzed Gordon's driving techniques, strategies, and insights, using them to craft his own approach. The breakthrough came during the 2nd or 3rd race of the 2002 season at Atlanta Motor Speedway. For the first time, Johnson managed to stay competitive throughout the event, finishing in the top 5. Running alongside seasoned drivers like Mark Martin, Johnson finally felt a glimmer of confidence. As he put it, that light bulb went off. It became clear that leaning on the expertise of Hendrick Motorsports and trusting their system was key to unlocking his potential. Over the next decade, Johnson and Knaus formed a formidable duo. Their dynamic was unique. Knaus played the role of the tough taskmaster, pushing everyone, including Johnson, to perform at their highest level. Meanwhile, Johnson acted as the calming presence within the team, ensuring he handled his responsibilities flawlessly to ease some of the pressure on Knaus. This balance worked wonders for years, resulting in an average of 7 wins and over 16 top 5 finishes per season between 2006 and 2010. However, no partnership is immune to strain, and theirs eventually hit a rough patch. And this is the part most people miss. While their collaboration yielded incredible results, cracks began to show toward the end of their tenure together. Both men were driven by immense pressure to maintain their winning streak, pressure to live up to expectations, and pressure to avoid failure. By the final few years of their partnership, these stresses spilled over into personal tensions. It wasn't something we intended to do, but it became personal, Johnson admitted. These underlying conflicts ultimately eroded their once unstoppable synergy, leading team owner Rick Hendrick to separate them. After retiring from full-time NASCAR competition following the 2020 season, Johnson embarked on a new chapter in his life, competing in the IndyCar series. Many wondered why a driver of his caliber would choose such a drastic change. His answer sheds light on a deeper truth about his motivations. "Everything in my career has been driven by fear," Johnson confessed. Whether it was fear of losing, fear of not living up to expectations, or simply fear of falling short, this mindset took a toll on him mentally and emotionally. With age and perspective, especially inspired by becoming a father, Johnson decided it was time to break free from that cycle. Joining IndyCar allowed him to rediscover his passion for racing purely for enjoyment. Unlike NASCAR, where the stakes often felt suffocating, IndyCar offered a fresh start, a chance to chase dreams rather than dread failures. Racing with Chip Ganassi Racing from 2021 to 2022, Johnson embraced the challenge wholeheartedly. Though adapting to open-wheel cars presented its own hurdles, he welcomed the opportunity to grow and learn again. Even after stepping away from full-time NASCAR racing, Johnson hasn't completely severed ties with the sport. In fact, he's participated in the last 3 Daytona 500s, 2023 to 2025, finishing an impressive third in this year's edition, the Great American Race. Such performances serve as a reminder of his enduring talent and love for the sport. In recognition of his unparalleled achievements, Johnson was inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame in 2024. So, what lessons can aspiring racers or anyone striving for greatness take away from Jimmie Johnson's journey? Is it possible to achieve sustained success without letting external pressures consume you? Or does true growth only come when you confront your fears head-on? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you agree with Johnson's decision to leave NASCAR for IndyCar? And how do you think his legacy will continue to influence future generations of drivers? Share your opinions in the comments below.